Well, good morning. Welcome again to our coffee morning. Now, last week we looked at anniversaries, and some may wonder why Easter wasn't included. This is simply because, unlike the other events mentioned, it's not celebrated on the same date each year. It's a movable feast. The reason for this can be traced back many, many centuries, and its roots can be found in the Old Testament book of Exodus, chapter 12, verse 23. God's people, the enslaved Hebrews, were compelled to flee Egypt because their children were to be killed. They were told by Moses to kill a lamb and paint their doors with blood to identify them, therefore avoiding the destroyer. This became known as the Passover and is still celebrated in the Jewish faith today. Now, for us, the sacrificed lamb is related to the sacrifice of our Saviour. You'll find this in 1st chapter of Corinthians, chapter 5, verse 7. So our Easter is related to Passover. The date that we celebrate Easter is established by the appearance of the full moon and the vernal equinox, usually about the 20th of March, when day and night are of equal length. Easter is celebrated on the first Sunday after the first full moon after that equinox, which this year was Saturday the 20th of March. And the next full moon is on Sunday the 28th. That's yesterday. So Easter Sunday is on the 4th of April. Okay? You stay with that. In the Christian calendar, this full moon is called the Paschal moon. Now, Paschal relates to Passover. Easter is, of course, our most important Christian festival, celebrating the resurrection of Christ from the dead following the crucifixion, and is the culmination of the period starting with Maundy Thursday, Good Friday, Holy Saturday, and Easter Sunday, which also marks the beginning of the ecclesiastical Easter season. Such an important event in the Christian calendar is observed and celebrated by Christians all across the world. But due to differing customs and histories, it's not celebrated in exactly the same way, or even at the same time. We in Britain start the period of Lent, the 40 days leading to Easter, with Shrove Tuesday, and we eat pancakes. Whilst in other parts of the world, colourful, extravagant events take place. They call them Mardi Gras, or Fat Tuesdays, with parades and bands, enormously highly decorated floats, and fantastic costumes. Although it is, in my view, unlikely that these will catch on in Ogmore anytime soon, or topple the pancake from its customary elevated position. Now, the Eastern Orthodox Church celebrates Easter according to the Gregorian calendar rather than the Julian calendar, as we do. This means that it takes place after hours, and many of their customs and ceremonies are different too. But the resurrection is still the central part of their celebration. Tradition and history would have it that the date of Easter was calculated in two varieties, even in these islands, practiced by the so-called Celtic Church in Ireland and the West, including Wales, on the one hand, and the Roman Church on the other. This was resolved at the Synod of Whitby, took place in the 7th century, and a huge amount has been written about it ever since. So now we have the same dates, and all the monks have the same haircut. This was also discussed. I know this is a simplistic view and that scholars still argue about it. So next weekend, when we celebrate Easter, we will indulge ourselves with too much chocolate, egg and rabbit, spoil the children with gifts and enjoy the greater freedoms on offer thanks to the easing of the lockdown. Let's not forget the true meaning of Easter, that can give us all hope, and that the weather will cooperate with the longer days so that we can benefit from them now that the clocks have sprung forward. Didn't forget that now, did you? As this bank holiday next Monday, there won't be a coffee morning, but just as always, you can still call a friend and enjoy this very special time.